One day, me and my brother were so excited about watching the latest episode of Black and White, we decided to record it in our VR. At the first episode started with the theme song, but it stopped as Eris became one of the dragon type Pokemon that consumed her own axe shoe. We were both confused at the time, but the theme song came on and the Pokemon were fine for now. The title even popped up and it said Iris Dragon Blood. We didn't even remember the title being there. Even my little brother was starting to worry. But then when the episode played, the part where was at her house in her backyard, she thought to herself and said, I wonder what my Dragonite is doing. She then released her Dragonite, but I saw the Pokeball was dripping blood. Iris was shocked that her Dragonite was lying dead on the floor. Iris tries to save the poor bleeding Pokemon, but she cuts herself with the dragon's claw. It pierced her middle finger and she sucked it by placing her finger in her mouth. But then something happened. We saw Iris tasting dragon blood. We gasped that Iris would do such a thing. When she tasted Dragonite's blood, she felt like it tasted delicious. So Iris tried to resist and call the Pokemon Center, but she turned back to the dead Dragonite and she hung up, knowing she was hungry for more. She then smiled and licked her lips, and then Iris ran to the dead Dragonite and ate some of its meat and innards. I couldn't help but notice every time she's hungry for dragon meat, her appearance is more dragon-like, but we kept watching. Then the scene where Ash and Pikachu pops up, knowing that they were going to be in a complete dragon badge, but when they arrived, they noticed that Iris with its dragon eyes and blood all over its clothes. They even noticed the blood dripping from her mouth. We saw it and my brother ran away, crying as Ash battled with Iris. He said, Say Iris, what happened to you? Even Team Rocket was shocked. They stopped when Ash during a Pokemon battle and told him, We tried to steal her Pokemon, Jessie said with fear. But when we opened her backpack, we saw unseen horror, James added. The scene then cuts to black and then shows Iris in the dragon form with Team Rocket, dead on the ground screaming in agonizing pain. I covered my ears as I tried to turn down the volume, but the screams had gotten louder. But then it cuts off to Ash and Pikachu ran far away from her. She then unleashed a steel dragon type and chased after her to retrieve them. Ash tripped and broke his leg, bleeding. Iris then spreads dragon wings from her bag, ripping her flesh from her shirt. She then flew to Ash, and then the screen turned black, and all I could hear was tearing and ripping Ash's flesh as he screams in pain. Meowth and Pikachu still remain on the screen, but came back on. When they did, they saw Ash dead on the floor. Now Iris was half dragon, but still very hungry. Pikachu used her Thunderbolt, but it did no effect. Meowth said to Pikachu in fear, It looks like we need to fight to live. That twerp of yours is really off the deep end. Iris laughed and said, Let's have a Pokemon battle. Win or lose is still my main course. Then the screen darkens again. But this time it shows Iris with Pikachu's tail on her teeth and Meowth's head on a silver platter with the screen followed by. After that, the episode ends with the credits darkened. We realized we took out the recording and deleted it later, never to be seen again. I was terrified about that closing scene. Look who came for dinner. I was terrified and I had to get therapy for 2 months after this episode, and I will never see it again. Wow, it sure has been a long time since I did a Poke Pasta. This has actually been a long time since I last did one. And that, my little pretties, was Pokemon Black and White Lost episode, Iris Dragon Blood. A Pokemon Poke Pasta written by I think it's written by, I think it's Sonicgod52. I think, I think he wrote that one, or was that Bad Harley Luck? Bad Harley Luck. I'm pretty sure that's one or the other. I can't really say which one, but which which one of the narrators. But oh, wait a second, I'm actually am wrong. So apologies for that. The story was written by Sonic God 52. So I know it's posted on Bad Harley Luck 31's account, but still, I can definitely say this story was definitely Not the best lost episode, but definitely wasn't terrible. I mean, the fact that Iris becomes, crazy and, becomes like a dragon or something and half human, half dragon start eating people like this. I mean, no, normally I would tear this one a brand new one, but since this is not your typical lost episode story, with bad cliches all over the place or anything like that, which is good. However, though, there were still a few things about this story that I have to go through. Now, one of them being the grammar was good, although there were a couple grammatical errors in the story. So, yeah, the grammatical errors could be fixed up, which I'm pretty sure wouldn't be an issue if they just fixed up the grammatical errors. The punctuation errors could be fixed up as well. I mean, there was a few of them in the story, so I did have a hard time reading it. But I haven't did a poke pasta in a long time, so this was definitely a good, refresher because I hadn't done a poke pasta in a long time actually. So while the story was pretty good, I definitely really enjoyed the plot line of it. It was a pretty good story for what it is. I do like the grammar of the story as well as the sentence structuring, although there were some parts, some errors in the story, like some punctuation, grammatical errors, and that could be fixed up. But other than that, it was definitely a pretty interesting story, and I definitely really enjoyed it. So, I guess with that being said, I personally really enjoyed the story. I thought it was a good one. So, anyways, with that being said, and that being the case, I personally enjoyed this story. I thought it was a really interesting one, although I definitely have to say it's not the best lost episode I've read, but it's definitely not terrible. I mean, yeah, sure, it could sounds like a little cliched aid of its own self, but at the same time, though, it's still a pretty good story. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, I personally really enjoyed this story. Although there was a few issues, but still, I could definitely say right now that this is actually a pretty fun story. I personally really like this story. So, anyways, yeah, with that being the case and with that being said, I mean, this is not a terrible lost episode, but it's definitely not perfect because of some stuff. I mean, there was a couple cliches in the story, like the blood cliche and stuff. I mean, I'm willing to excuse the blood, but at least it's not, a VHS tape or a DVD and then somebody smashes it later. But the fact that they deleted the episode afterwards kind of makes me wonder if they still had the evidence, like if they would have provided a screenshot of the evidence of the episode or something. But still, this was definitely a pretty fun story to read. I mean, a nice change. I haven't done a poke pasta in a really long time. That was why I decided, you know what, maybe I should give this a go because I hadn't done a poke pasta in a really long time. So, anyways, with that being said, Sonic God or whoever it is, 52, awesome job with the story. So, anyways, with that being the case, and with that being said, Ed, and that being the case, it's a pretty fun story. I recommend it. So, with that being said, like I'm going to say, hey, this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We've all of our title to our own opinions regards to these pastas. This is just my own personal thoughts. I'm gonna give this story a 7 out of 10. Not the best lost episode creepypasta, but it's definitely not the terrible one. I mean, that's just in my eyes. I mean, well, it could be, could have been better. I still thought this was pretty neat because, I haven't done it in a long time. So, I guess with that being said, and that being the case, what did you guys personally think of this story? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally help make this story a lot better. Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out. And like always, please roll the outro because I'm out. And I'm so glad that I narrated this poke pasta because I haven't did a poke pasta in a long time. But with that being said, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out.